Atlanta trying the trap. Tree Rollins is in the ball game in the middle. He's a good defensive shot blocker. Mark Aguirre hits from the corner. Aguirre has 6 points, so does Perkins. They account for 12 of the 16 Maverick points. Roy Tarpley is in for the Dallas Mavericks. He's become a force off the bench in his second year in the NBA. Livingston misses, and the rebound by Tarpley.
And Tarpley's really coming and showing what he can do at the boards for this Dallas team.
Brad Davis goes in, and they're going to call the offensive foul against Davis, but Tarpley looks to be a star in the making in this league.
Well, that's what they're hoping here in Dallas. In the last 2 games, he's gotten 23 and 19 rebounds, and 23 is a record for the Dallas Mavericks.
So Donaldson and Tarpley, a couple of huge forwards in there for the Mavericks. Rivers left open right of the key. Rebound offensively by Willis.
Now, it's interesting. The last 2 plays the Hawks have run, one for Livingston in the post-up and one for Tree Rollins. That shows you how Mike Fratello is really scrambling to find some offense.
Livingston with the jumper. Cliff Livingston next to John Battle, the guard who's been terrific off the bench, has been the biggest surprise for Atlanta. Mavericks by 4. Their biggest lead was 8, and they've had the lead throughout this first period. 3:10 remaining. Derek Harper. Here's Aguirre. Going for 3, and he hits it.
That's the problem that you're confronted with when you're coaching against the Mark Aguirre. You're going to double him down low. Now, do you decide to double him when he touches the ball outside? He can hurt you inside or outside.
Whitman coming around the screen. Rollins good at setting picks. He's playing low. Sets one for Whitman. Donaldson the rebound.
Whitman must make that jump shot. Wide open jump shot. No one near him.
He's having his problems. 2 for 7 so far in this game. He and Dominique really are their only true jump shooters. Rivers with his penetration, that's what he does best. Gets another chance, and it's knocked out of bounds. Still Atlanta ball, and into the game, Spud Webb, who won the slam dunk contest here in his hometown of Dallas a few years ago and got on the map. He is an outstanding guy. He replaces Doc Rivers, and Webb, with good speed, is recovered from his knee injury. Detlef Schrempf is in for the Dallas Mavericks, as well, and Wilkins in for the Hawks, too.
Well, what the Atlanta Hawks want is they want Spud Webb to get this pace going. They want a quicker pace up and down the court. And with Schrempf, we'll look for him posting up Whitman when Atlanta is at the set offense.
No way to stop Wilkins. Good feed from Randy Whitman that time, and Dominique with his first points of the game with nearly 2 minutes to go in the first period.
I saw this happen in Philadelphia a couple weeks ago. Same situation. Dominique taking the bad shots. He scored 45.
Aguirre. Now we have a shootout now with Aguirre with 11 points, the game high scorer. Wilkins, by the way, scored a season high of 48 last week against San Antonio. 1:35 remaining, first period. 21-14 Dallas. A legal defense called against the Mavericks. Next time that'll be a technical. And in the ball game now is John Battle. Boy, has he been a surprise for Atlanta.
Oh, he is their instant offense coming off the bench, and they'll look now with him in the ball game at some point, especially now that they're struggling. I could see them trying to isolate Schrempf one-on-one with Battle, and that's a tough matchup for Schrempf, who just doesn't have the quickness.
He's got the size, but one-on-one, Battle's got the initial step. Willis missing outside, and there's the offensive rebound and the basket by Dominique Wilkins.
Now, this is what I think Mike Fratello is talking about, the maturity of his ball club. They've been struggling so far in this first 11 minutes of this ball game, but they're hanging in there, mentally tough.
1 minute remaining in the first period. Detlef Schrempf. He struggles offensively, and that's been a Dallas problem. But they've got the loose ball again. Now, Mark Aguirre has scored the last 9 points for the Dallas Mavericks. And he'll go to the line to try to make it 11.
Now, if you don't think you have to keep Dominique Wilkins off the offensive glass, well, just take a look at this. If you give him that room to get to the offensive boards, he just can jump over people, and that's what he did.
Foul was on Dominique Wilkins, his second personal foul, and here's Aguirre on the line.
Now it's a tough decision for Mike Fratello. Does he keep Dominique on Aguirre, or does he put Willis on him because he doesn't want Dominique to pick up that third foul this early in this first half?
Seven-point lead for the Dallas Mavericks. 38 seconds to go in the first period. Atlanta has not had the lead at all, and Dallas has committed only one team foul.
Well, we see they're going to just use the clock, go to a 1-4 set and look for Battle to try and penetrate.
But Battle hits the shot outside with 18 seconds to go, and the Mavericks will play for the last shot.
And what we'll see is most likely we'll see Harper coming off a screen once that clock winds down.
5 seconds. Aguirre against Wilkins, try to draw the foul. He scores. Notice that Dominique Wilkins didn't want to take a chance and commit that third foul. And that's the end of the first period. Mark Aguirre with 15 points in the first period.
Not able to contain him and double him and do the job defensively.
Dick Stockton and Billy Cunningham will start the second period. Antoine Carr, a good low post offensive threat, is coming the ball game for the Hawks. Perkins shooting over Carr and hits. Sam Perkins has 8 points, so it looks like he's getting into the swing offensively.
And with Aguirre on the bench, with that front line they have with Tarpley, Donaldson, and Perkins, he's got to be the offensive threat from their big people.
Battle trying to beat Schrempf off the dribble. Now picked up by Perkins on a switch. 8 on the shot clock. Battle going inside and is fouled. Sam Perkins committing the foul, his first. Both teams failed in the playoffs last year. They both won the most games in their franchise history. What kept the Hawks away and the Mavericks?
I think both teams need one thing. They need another offensive player. And with this Atlanta team, the man that they're looking to go to now, Antoine Carr, is the man they're looking for this year.
Battle missed and Detlef Schrempf clears it.
But I think with Dallas, the Detlef Schrempf has so far has not been able to produce and be that offensive threat. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make a trade or do something because they're going to need that offensive threat to contest the Lakers.
Roy Tarpley inside. Good defense, inner defense by Atlanta. And it is still Mavericks ball. When you look at Atlanta being the best defensive club, it's plays like this.
But that's the intimidating factor. There, Willis coming over to contest that shot.
Tarpley is fouled at the baseline by Carr.
You know, one thing I thought, though, when Atlanta went to their bench, this is where they were going to really explode. Because when Dallas goes to their bench, they're just not as deep. But so far in this period, we're seeing with Schrempf, Tarpley in there, and Aguirre on the bench that they've been able to do it.
He's 23. He's even younger than Jim Farmer and Steve Alford, who are rookies this year. So he's got a lot of time to mature. He's big enough now. Turnaround by Antoine Carr.
And that's what the Hawks need. Antoine Carr, and we'll see Dallas looking to double team him.
Donaldson setting a pick. Willis, Schrempf going in. Good play. He went right around the Atlanta Hawks switching defense for his first basket.
And took it strong to the basket.
Nearly 2 minutes elapsed in this second period. Dallas has led all the way. They're up by 11, their biggest lead.
Well, we see where Harper is defensively against Spud Webb.
Battle hits from outside.
Now, this Dallas team has been struggling so far this year offensively. They've been down with their field goal percentage and their foul shooting compared to last year.
Atlanta coming out of the pack, 3-on-2 break. Webb. Spud Webb, he is the accelerator, maybe the fastest player in the NBA, and he gave Willis a good feed.
And that's the type of play that can ignite this Atlanta Hawks team.
Scoring off of a turnover or a missed basket as they did there. The lead is down to 7 for the Mavericks. Here's Perkins. And Willis clears it into the hands of Webb. He's got Livingston on the wing, takes it all the way, and is fouled by Detlef Schrempf.
To the foul shot and the timeout, the Hawks going right to a 2-2-1 trap, looking to take the Dallas team out of their set offense and looking for a steal if it comes their way.
10 on the shot clock. Atlanta scored 6 straight points. They have not had the lead in this game.
You see the difference that time? Schrempf did not come off that screen hard.
Tarpley, low post. Roy Tarpley, and it's again a 7-point Dallas lead. So Webb is in there in the backcourt, along with Battle, Koncak, Carr, and Livingston. Spud Webb hits the jump shot. His first game back last year after missing 44 with knee surgery came against these Mavericks here, and the Hawks were successful. Schrempf goes for 3, and he is really in a tough slump. Detlef Schrempf has missed his last 12 attempts from three-point range, and Spud Webb called for the offensive foul at the other end. Dominique Wilkins is back in the ball game. Mike Fratello won't keep him on the bench for long.
Now we see this missed three-pointer by Schrempf, and the Hawks getting it to Spud Webb, and he's just pushing it right up the gut. And Tarpley making a smart play, not getting cute, just stepping in and drawing the charge.
Wilkins, by the way, who's back in the game, is the only player on either side with more than one personal foul. Harper from Perkins.
Well, the reason for that is Dominique Wilkins did not put good pressure on Sam Perkins out on the court, and he could see over the defense.
Webb with a great reversal against Harper, penetrates inside, and the rebound by Tarpley, and he's trying to lead a break for the Dallas Mavericks.
I think Spud Webb, when he penetrates that way, he's got to look to pass more than shoot.
Dallas has been primarily a half-court setup team, and John McLeod wants him to run more. He feels in the playoffs they'll have to play in both dimensions. Donaldson, I guess it's gravy anytime they get points from Donaldson in the middle.
Well, Donaldson, has got that bad hamstring and has been struggling. And as a matter of fact,
So Rivers and Whitman are fresh right now. And basically, it's the starting team for the Hawks in there. They're trailing by 7. 10 on the shot clock. Koncak defending against Donaldson. Kicked out of bounds by Tarpley, and it should be Atlanta ball.
Now we see Perkins come from the rear and get that shot of Dominique Wilkins. I think he was lucky he was behind him. If he was in front of him, he might have gotten hurt.
Pick and roll that time to Antoine Carr, and Carr hits his second shot, and it's a 5-point lead, but the Hawks have not been able to penetrate that 5-point barrier in this game. The biggest lead was 11 early by the Mavericks in this period. And Tarpley goes up and gets the foul and nearly got the basket as well. Well, coming up next at 4 o'clock Eastern time on CBS, the Runnin' Rebels of UNLV against
Johnson is, he'd like to be where Magic is in June, and that's in the finals.
Whitman, they thought they had a shot to get there last year.
Whitman's got to go up with that shot as soon as the ball is thrown to him.
Carr missed it, and here come the Mavericks.
And the reason is, Dick, is when that double team down goes on that man, he pitches it right out to Whitman, he can't hesitate. He's got to make the Dallas Mavericks pay for that double team.
Schrempf inside was a very tough shot. He was double teamed, and Detlef Schrempf hits it, and so the Mavericks keep the Hawks at bay. The lead is 8 right now with 5:20 remaining in the half. Doc Rivers comes back with 2. The Mavericks won the season series against the Lakers last year, and they might have been looking ahead to an NBA Western final matchup before they got knocked out in the first round by Seattle.
Well, that's a growing experience. You have to realize what it takes to get to the finals, and it's concentration from training camp.
Perkins with a 3. 11 points for Sam Perkins, who's averaging 14 a game. And he has given Dallas that scoring dimension so far in this game.
Well, he's giving them scoring, and he's doing the job on Dominique Wilkins. Look at him back off Wilkins, trying to force him to shoot the jump shot.
And that time a foul is called. Perkins Thought he got the ball, and the personal is against Davis, his second, with the trap. And up front, it'll be Livingston, Contact, and Kevin Willis. So that's a way to use a lot of the forwards that Mike Fratello has.
But it also tells you that he's very unhappy with the 2 guards he had in there, Whitman and Battle.
4:25 remaining in the first half. Schrempf off a good pick and roll right now to Sam Perkins. Perkins has 13 points. 9 of them here in the second period. Aguirre scored 15, but they were all in the first period. So they're getting a contributor in each of the first 2 sessions here in this game. Rivers penetrating. And he's called for his second foul, offensive foul against Doc. Top scorers in the game, but Wilkins is struggling from the field thanks to good Dallas defense.
Yep, and as soon as Rivers put that ball on the floor, there were 5 Mavericks standing in that lane looking to force him to give it up or to draw the charge.
Coming off the screen is Schrempf. Coming down with it, Aguirre challenging Livingston, and now they'll call a foul.
Now what they're doing is the Hawks, they're looking to isolate Dominique Wilkins, trying to give him one side of the court to operate.
3 for 10 now, knocked out of bounds by Livingston, and I think Mike Fratello has tried every combination imaginable to him and has not been able to get a spark going for his team.
One thing hasn't got.
He's 3 for 10 from the field. Sooner or later, he'll heat up. Mark Aguirre, who scored 15 in the first period, sat out most of the second so far.
But look how the Mavericks got back defensively so well. All 5 players were back, picked up their man, and didn't allow that fast break of the Hawks to get started.
Wilkins hits, and maybe that'll get him going.
That was a good shot. You know, he didn't force anything. Perkins backed off, and he shot the open jump shot.
Harper, long range hit. Billy, let me ask you about Dominique Wilkins and whether he is strictly a shooter. How do you describe him and feel about him as a player overall?
Dominique is a scorer. He's going to be a streak jump shooter, but if he can get going and get it going to the basket, that's when he's at his best.
He drew the foul there and will go to the line. John Battle will come back in the backcourt for the Hawks.
Now, the thing I want everyone at home to watch is watch all the white uniforms. Now, getting back defensively, how hard they're running, and now they turn, find their man, and they're back and stop that fast break of the Hawks.
Foul is on Perkins, his second, and with John Battle checking in for Atlanta, that means Wilkins will move back to the forward position. And the backup center for the Mavericks, Uwe Blop, in his second year out of Indiana, who has already doubled his playing time from a year ago, replaces Sam Perkins, who goes out with 2 fouls and 13 points.
Well, right there we see that John McLeod just doesn't contain Dominique Wilkins.
8-point lead for the Mavericks. And Aguirre out of bounds, last touched by Kevin Willis.
Right there we saw that the Hawks just did not get back and pick up Aguirre. What he should have done is shot the jump shot and not taken it to the basket.
Aguirre with a screen from Uwe Blop connects his first points of the second period, 17 in the game. So with Perkins out of there, Aguirre will assume the scoring role. A 10-point lead for the Mavericks. This is a textbook game for John McLeod's team so far.
And also, this will bring great confidence to the ball club. It leaves the first half well.
Basket will count, and a foul is called away from the ball. Count the basket for Wilkins.
Score the hoop. Score the hoop.
And the foul is called, and we're not sure which team. It must be against Atlanta.
Loose ball foul.
It's a loose ball foul. Willis.
His first 13 foul for Atlanta.
Now, I would think that Dallas might go to Aguirre because Dominique is hurting them now at this end and has those 2 fouls. Maybe isolate him, try to pick up that 3rd foul.
Uwe Blop working his way in, has the shot blocked by Contact, and now they call the foul. From Aguirre, it's 49-41, and Atlanta hasn't gotten closer than 5 points in this period. Minute and a half to go. Doc Rivers. Offensive rebound by Kevin Willis. Now the Mavericks. Schrempf cleared. Looking for the opportunity on the break. Schrempf with a great pass to Copley.
I know John McLeod liked to take this second period performance by Shrimp. Put it in a bottle and then just pull it out when he needs it.
But he's had good games, and then he follows them up with subpar after. So the inconsistency has what hurt, and they'll call the Dallas foul as both Wilkins hits the deck with Mark Aguirre.
Now look at this play. You know, Deadlift Shrimp, 6'8", behind the back, penetration, and he finds Roy Tarpley for the easy layup.
Mavericks have been in the penalty, and that will bring Dominique Wilkins to the free throw line. And with all the things that Wilkins can do, and you see Atlanta's big edge on the boards, he is an 84% free throw shooter.
And that's one of the reasons you have to even force him to shoot the jump shot even more, because when he gets to the basket and gets fouled, you know, he's such a good foul shooter, he can hurt you there.
He carries this team. Missed one of them. 9-point lead under a minute remaining. It's been all Dallas in this first half. Aguirre can't connect inside. Contact clears. Lead pass to Willis. He didn't have control and is called for traveling. He went up and lost the ball as Atlanta misses an easy two, and that may graphically illustrate the problems Mike Fratello's crew is having.
Yeah, and the problems from Kevin Willis coming back after that injury to his knee. He just has not been able to regain that form that he had before the injury.
Biggest lead for the Mavericks have been 9. They can match it with a basket here. Harper against the 7-footer contact. They're getting the loose balls as well, the Mavericks. Tarpley battle the rebound. 24 seconds to go in the first half.
Should pull it back and get the last shot.
And a foul, no basket. Offensive foul called against Atlanta. Kevin Willis, and that'll be his second foul.
That was a bad play by Battle. Battle should have been aware of how much time was on that clock and held the ball back and gotten the last shot of this period.
So now once again the Mavericks have a chance to equal their biggest lead of 11.
And they've been able to keep Sam Perkins on the bench with 2 personal fouls.
They got scoring from Tarpley. That's helped him here. 1 second to go. Detlef Schrempf misses at the buzzer. And let's see how Atlanta plays it to get some spark going. Wilkins off a contact screen hits. Dominique Wilkins now with 16 points.
And he's picked up where he left off at the end of that second period.
Wilkins has scored 37 or more in his last 4 games, and he has to go a while to get that. Perkins with a step to the hoop, no foul, good defense by contact. Here's a 3-on-2 break by the Hawks. Rivers is fouled going up.
Now that's where the Hawks have to generate and get this intensity up for themselves at the defensive end of the court. And we saw the first time Atlanta had the possession. Now we see right here Rivers going in, that's strong to the hole, and Harper picking up the foul. But they must do it defensively. In the first play that Dallas ran, they almost used the whole 24-second clock with the good intensity with Atlanta defensively. And we saw the last time the missed dunk by Perkins.
Where do we go?
Second foul by Harper.
Box out, let's go.
Doc Rivers, who was the culprit, according to the media, after the Hawks' failures in the playoffs last year. They called for his trade. He has stayed with Atlanta, and he has weathered a lot of storms and a lot of criticism. Mark Aguirre, and Wilkins tears the ball away. He looks like he's coming out strong in this second half. Lead is 5 for Dallas. Off the screen, Whitman, but there's Perkins. Wilkins. Dominique now has hit 2. He's got 18. Atlanta has outscored the Mavericks 6-0 so far in the third.
You just look at the faces of the Hawks. They just look like they've just gotten their wake-up call. There's much more intensity on their faces.
They try to go to Aguirre in the low post, but he is pushed by Cliff Livingston. And for Cliff, that'll be his second. We've talked so much about the Atlanta defense, and boy, have they gotten better under Mike Fratello, haven't they?
Yeah, and what Mike Fratello has been able to do is to instill a pride and let the players know when we are bad offensively, we can stay in the game defensively.
Aguirre's layup rolled off the rim, so the lead is 3, and now the Hawks can cut it to 1. Wilkins. There's no question, Bill, who they wanted to get started here in the second.
Now we see this Dallas team coming unraveled, just mishandling the basketball, and now John McLeod, he's got to start thinking about what adjustments he's going to make, especially against Dominique Wilkins.
Hawks are on an 8-0 run here in the third period. 10 on the shot clock. Wilkins has taken over right now and can give the Hawks their first lead of the game, and he does. So Dominique Wilkins has scored 8 points here in this third period, and McLeod wants a timeout. So that's how quick the Atlanta Hawks can strike.
I think what he's saying is that the players now have the ability to look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm not ready to play. I got to get myself going. I have to contribute more. And I think that's what we're seeing right now to start the second half.
And on the opposite side, Bill, Mark Aguirre, who started 5 for 7 in this game, has hit just 1 of his last 7. So how quickly you get hot and cold in this game, even when you're a superstar like Aguirre and Wilkins.
But that's not going to stop Aguirre from shooting the basketball. He knows, and the scorer has the mentality he's going to hit the next 6 out of 7.
Dominique on the steal, going inside to Aguirre, and Wilkins has come out strong, and he has taken over, no question, the leadership of this club right now. Perkins is out to meet Wilkins, who's red hot and continues so, and Dominique now with 24 points. 5 for 5 here in the third period, and Atlanta leads by 3.
Well, that's what a leader has to do. Dominique has made the play defensively as well as offensively, and his teammates will follow.
Inside, Livingston intercepts the pass, going for Perkins, and the Hawks on the turnover, now playing half-court offense. Mavericks have yet to score here in the third period. It's a 12-0 run by Atlanta with 6 on the shot clock. Wilkins again, and Wilkins hits again, and he is out of sight. Dominique Wilkins. I don't see how anyone can imagine what kind of a great leader and scorer this man is. And John McLeod has now called a 22nd time it's the foul, not the basket, and will go to the line with 8:21 remaining. This is outside, but there's Livingston with an offensive rebound. Contact again, and now Atlanta's tremendous offensive rebounding is paying off.
But we see what Dominique has been able to do to his ball club. He's got Livingston active. He's got contact.
And Aguirre is fouled inside. Great rebounding by the Hawks on the offensive glass.
Now there's Livingston. He just believes he's going to get every offensive rebound, and he just pounds the boards. And there's contact right in there, being able to pick up that 2 points. And there should be an assist for Livingston for what he did.
Meanwhile, Aguirre was fouled by Contact, who picks up his 3rd foul. Atlanta has all the boards. Aguirre with 20 points, making his first free throw. Aguirre is averaging nearly 27 a game, and now has 21.
Now the thing, defensively, Dallas has not done a bad job. You know, they're forcing Dominique to take the shot they want him to take. And it's interesting now Aguirre is matched up against Dominique.
Off the screen, Whitman makes the extra pass to Contact, who hits the jump shot outside. But the only difference is with Wilkins, he's now hitting the shot that he missed in the first half.
Well,
Harper for 3. That'll spark the Mavericks. Dallas's first field goal of this half, and it comes with 7:28 remaining.
But when you play against a guy like Dominique, you know, right now you're probably better off just denying the basketball to him.
And the turnover caused by Derek Harper. So Derek Harper is making it happen on both ends. The 3-point shot, and now this play.
Now look at that hustle by Harper, getting over there and knocking the ball off Rivers' leg. Now we've seen Aguirre step forward and say, hey, I'll get us back in a groove. And we've seen Harper hitting the 3 and getting aggressive defensively.
Dallas trailing by 2. Aguirre sneaks in and ties the score. Now we have the shootout. The 2 superstars are online. Aguirre with 23, Wilkins with 26, and a dead even game.
That's what Aguirre's got to do. Deny that ball to Dominique. Don't let him touch the basketball.
6 on the shot clock. Rivers fires outside. Mavericks will try to regain the lead here. Harper, another 3. Cleared by Livingston. looking to take the lead.
Aguirre is tired.
Inside to Wilkins. Double teams. And a loose ball foul is called against the Atlanta Hawks.
Now watch the body control of Mark Aguirre to avoid the block shot. Just taking it over there with those big hands and banking it off the glass.
Livingston has picked up his third personal foul of the ball game. So Livingston and Concac each with 3 fouls for the Hawks and Mark Aguirre.
But that foul by Livingston is a foul that Mike Fratello was not upset with, because they're aggressive fouls. They're going to the boards, and that's what Livingston does best, and that's how he contributes, his way of contributing to the Hawk ball club.
Donaldson. James Donaldson did not play in that playoff loss to Seattle last year. He has since injured his hamstrings. Kevin Willis comes in for Livingston. And the question is, can the Dallas Mavericks succeed if Donaldson does not become any kind of an offensive contributor at center?
I think the feeling is that he will get over that hamstring problem, and he will be able to contribute 10 points, 12 points to this team offensively.
Mavericks by 1. Nearly halfway through this third period. And the Mavericks have tightened their defense on the half court. And they'll call the foul on Harper. He tried to strip it away from Rivers, and that'll be his third foul.
Roy Tarpley back in the game.
Roy Tarpley replaces Donaldson for Dallas.
It's really funny. All of a sudden, the Dallas team was challenged. They fall behind, and now they gather themselves a little bit. How the crowd has gotten into the game. They played so well in the first half, but the crowd was not there.
Isn't it interesting, Bill, how Dallas dominated the first half, had the lead all the way, and the crowd wasn't convinced. They weren't sold on it until Atlanta put their run on, and then the Mavericks came back, and now they said, okay, now we're in it.
Tough to figure.
Sure is. Wilkins guarded by Aguirre. Bad pass, Rivers saved it, and Whitman on the baseline. Tapped in by Dominique Wilkins after Concac's miss, and Dallas, if Dallas is going to win the game, they're going to have to do a better job off the defensive board.
Absolutely.
Out of bounds, turn it over to Dallas.
It's one thing to give up the long jump shot to Dominique, but it's another thing. Oh, we see Rivers and Aguirre, 2 guys from Chicago. Going at it.
Well, they hope to meet at the All-Star game in a few weeks, I think. They see in the Windy City. Mark, you too, Doc.
Well, I'm sure it would be a great achievement. You know, Aguirre should make the All-Star team. There's no question with his performance. And Rivers has a shot at it, but I think he'll have to be named by the coach.
Long shot.
Coach, long shot.
Brad Davis staying with Whitman off the screen. Kevin Willis facing the hoop against Perkins. Double team leaves Whitman wide open. And as you said earlier, he's got to hit that shot. They get another chance, and Concac connects inside. John Concac with 8 points in the ball game.
Dallas is not going to have any chance of beating the Hawk team if they keep giving them second opportunities.
That's really what it comes down to, and John McLeod has told us as much yesterday. Blocking foul on Willis, and that'll be his third. And right now, Dallas in front in the Midwest Division. Let's take a close look at one of the 2 closest fought divisions. Houston and Denver trail by 3 games. And it's been a long fight back for Denver.
Yeah, and 2 teams, Houston and Denver, that I would be very concerned if I was Pat Riley.
64-62 Atlanta with nearly 4.5 remaining in the third. They're doubling Dominique Wilkins. Whitman. And that time he buried it.
There's a case where Dominique Wilkins, if you pick up a stat sheet, will not get an assist. But because of the double team, they were able to swing it, and he was the one that allowed Whitman to get that open jump shot.
Hockey, he'd get an assist. Huh?
Absolutely.
Knocked away by Wilkins. Causes the turnover into the hands of Rivers. Whitman in the lane against some big people. Scoops it up, and a fine play by Randy Whitman. Keep in mind, he's had an off year, and the Hawks with their biggest lead now of 6 at 68-62. At one point, they were down by 11 in the first half. 3:45 to go. Low post. Aguirre looking to pass. Puts it up and gets it. And Aguirre with 26.
You know the thing that amazes me about Mark Aguirre, he's 6'5". He's inside in that situation with guys 7 feet tall. And Dominique Wilkins, we know how he can jump. And he just shoots it right over them. I asked John McLeod, how does he do it? And he said, I don't know. Just keep doing it.
He doesn't want to know. 8 seconds on the clock. Dominique gets his own score. Great play by Wilkins. How do you figure that?
He shot the ball. He was the first one. He was standing under the basket. 15 feet he went and just bang, he was there.
He's got 16 this period, Wilkins, and 30 in the ball game. 3:03 to go, and Tarpley hits from outside, but we are seeing 2 special players. Wilkins, 4th in the league in scoring, Aguirre 5th, and they're having a shootout this afternoon. Wilkins has really come alive in the second half. A 4-point Atlanta lead, and Whitman with 2 more.
Now we see with Shrimp in there at the guard position, as we saw in the first half with Wilkins, they're running him off the baselines, looking for Whitman.
16 on the shot clock. 6-point Atlanta lead with less than 2.5 to play in the third. Aguirre can't fake Wilkins. Open man Shrimp for 3, and he hits it.
Did he call that? Did he call backboard?
Yeah, I think you have to call it for it to count.
It's only 2.5 if you don't.
He had missed 12 in a row and was 1 for 14 on the year before he hit that shot. That'll do a world of confidence for Detlef Schrempf. This game is tightened up. We've got a rouser here, trailing by 3. By the way, the Hawks have shot 70% in this quarter after a 38% woeful shooting first half. 2 minutes to go. Donaldson on a good pass from Roy Tarpley, and under 2 minutes to go in the third.
And now with Dominique out of the game, someone's got to pick up the scoring slack, and they'll look at Whitman to do that.
Livingston. Rebound Harper. Hawks get back defensively. Aguirre with a turnaround. And they're going to have a loose ball foul called against the Mavericks. The Konkak inside, knocked away by Tarpley. That last foul, by the way, against Donaldson.
3 seconds on the 24-second clock.
And Whitman saw it, got the shot up, missed it. Livingston's second effort is good and is fouled. So everything going Atlanta's way, this way in the third period.
Now, that was a smart play by Whitman because he realized there were only a couple of seconds on the 24-second clock. It wasn't a good shot, but look what it ended up giving the Hawks. A 3-point opportunity for Cliff Livingston.
Tarpley with his second foul. Both teams have been in the penalty, and with 1:10 remaining in the third, this has been a
Now we see them going to their 2-2-1 trap, just trying to force the... Oh, look at
they forced it, and Willis knocked it away, but it got the job done.
Yeah, what was different is in the first half, all they did was try to force the Mavericks to use a little bit more of that 24-second clock. This now to start the third period, the end of the third period, they're looking for the steals.
Willis picks up Harper on a switch. Tarpley. He's hit a couple of outside shots, and quietly Tarpley with 11 points has kept the Mavericks in.
He has, and we know he can shoot that jump shot, but for him to really be a bigger factor for this team is he's got to go inside and be a post-up player.
When you're 6'11", you better be a post-up player. Whitman comes on a baseline screen, and Randy Whitman has 12 points, 8 of them here in the third.
It's beautiful watching these coaches adjusting to the substitutions. As soon as Shrimp came in the ball game, what did Mike Fratello do? Running the baseline screens for Whitman, and Detlef Shrimp, 6'8", cannot get through the screens.
We haven't seen much of John Battle in this third period, however, and Cliff Livingston has picked up his 4th personal foul.
Now we see Whitman right underneath the basket, running on the baseline. Shrimp, look what he's got to do, and see how the screens just get up a little high, and there's the open shot.
Game clock, and a 2-point lead.
Now they'll run Whitman. He'll go down the lane and come off a single or a double screen.
He comes off a double screen and returns it to Rivers with 1 on the shot clock, and they don't get it off in time. And the 24-second clock gives it over to Dallas.
Great defense by the Mavericks.
And they knew the play that Atlanta was trying to run.
They should. They've seen it the last 4 times down the court.
Final seconds and a foul. With 2 seconds remaining in the third period. And that'll do it. And that's the end of the third period. We're tied at 77. We'll return to Reunion Arena in Dallas after this message and a word from your local station. A sore back, so that's why he hasn't played his normal minutes in the game. Harper gets it to Perkins. Perkins goes for 3. Wilkins comes down with it. Wilkins scored 16, Bill, and his record for most points in a period is 18 this year. Not a record day for him there, but he was red hot in Rivers scored.
And we see this big lineup in there now for Dallas. Perkins is the shortest at 6'10". I'm sure John McLeod wants to improve his rebounding.
But the Mavericks aren't making good passes inside. Dominique has picked off a couple.
And also, Perkins has got to hold that position and not allow Dominique to just sneak around.
Atlanta by 2. Their biggest lead was 6. Rollins didn't score a point this year till his 6th game of the season. He really is a non-factor offensively, but defensively, another story.
Defensively and off the court, he's the man the players go to, and he's the one that keeps things straight in the locker room.
Perkins doubled, leaving Schrempf open. He puts a fake on Carr and lofts it over Rollins. Doesn't go, and here comes Atlanta with a fast break opportunity. Rivers down the middle. Oh, and Antoine Carr gets fouled inside.
Now here's that pass inside to Perkins. Perkins has got to hold that position. He doesn't, and he allows Dominique to just slip around. That if they don't produce in those areas, he's going to have to step in and take their position and their minutes away from him.
Mavericks trail by 4. Tarpley tries to keep it alive and does.
Settling for the quick shot right now, Dallas. They got to look to get something good.
High post is Donaldson. No one inside. Now Schrempf goes there, and they're going to call Antoine Carr with the foul against Tarpley. So Atlanta right now with the lead in the Central Division. This is, without question, the toughest division in the league.
Larger opponents, while Orlando Blackman's lethal outside shooting provides the perfect complement. Each on their own is threatening. Together, they're unstoppable. Teamwork has made this all-star duo the best.
A tremendous thrill for him. And maybe it'll come down to Atlanta having to beat the Celtics in Boston Garden. No mean feat for him to get that now.
It's not the game you'd hope to get into that all-star game with if you're Mike Fratello.
Atlanta by 1, 9:40 to go. Rivers going strong with a hoop. Coming into the hands of Donaldson. Mavericks looking to take the lead. They led throughout the first half. Triple team on Perkins. Schrempf is wide open. They go now out to Detlef. And an offensive foul against Schrempf.
James Donaldson had Whitman on him when the ball was swung to him, and he had made his mind up he was going to pass it. He should have realized it. He should have, now you can see right there with Whitman playing Donaldson, he shouldn't have thrown it out to Schrempf. He should have looked to post him up and just shoot the jump shot right over him.
3 fouls on Detlef. Team fouls have Atlanta with 2 and Dallas 1 here in the 4th period with 9:10 remaining. 81-80. What a beautiful, smooth baseline move by Wilkins, who has 32.
And that's not what John McLeod wants Perkins to do. If anything, force him back towards the middle where there's some defensive help.
Harper going strong to the basket is fouled. That'll be the 3rd, and it worked. Donaldson clears.
He did, and he had a hand in Wilkins' face.
Mavericks can tie it up, and Harper, and it's tipped up and in by Tarpley, and Roy Tarpley now has given the Mavericks a tie at 83.
And what we're seeing is this big front line of Dallas is doing a better job on the glass.
Wilkins goes in. Looked like he might have traveled. No matter, it's Dallas with Schrempf. Webb is guarding Harper. Perkins fouled by Tree Rollins. What about the defense? That's why Atlanta's the best that way. Hustle for the loose ball. Rollins gets it to Wilkins, and he'll call a foul on Brad Davis. Tree Rollins with tremendous hustle, who lead by 3.
And a big basket for Willis because he's been struggling.
Webb got a hand on it. Now Wilkins is guarding Aguirre. Pass was tipped, and a foul called at the other end against the Atlanta Hawks. And they're in the penalty. So that's the penalty, and so the Dallas
Rotation.
2 free throws by Donaldson. 1 point Atlanta lead with 6:45 now remaining in the 4th period.
You see them switching on that play when they cross underneath.
John Battle pulls up over Aguirre and throws up an air ball, but Tarpley couldn't hold on out of bounds, so Atlanta will get another shot.
Now with 5 seconds to play, they're going to have to look for the quick shot. You got to look for the possible lob to Dominique or Webb coming off the baseline screen. He's got to get it up quick.
Webb with 3 seconds. Rebound Tarpley. And the Mavericks can take the lead, but Brad Davis threw it away, and no one in the vicinity of the ball. And now Mark Aguirre looks at Davis and said, I think I was the guy who you were going to get it to.
Well, I don't know how.
Nearly halfway through this final period. Atlanta keeps the lead, and they're posting up Wilkins against Detlef Schrempf. They want to get the ball to Dominique if they can. Battle, though, drives and gets 0 on it, and a foul call. Battle came around, and a foul called against the Mavericks. That'll be their 4th team foul. Atlanta already in the penalty.
Well, you see, Battle is not comfortable with the basketball right now. He's not in any type of rhythm because he had the opportunity for that open shot, but put it on the floor, trying to get some rhythm, to get some confidence out there.
Detlef Schrempf with 4 fouls goes out of the ball game, and Sam Perkins comes back in. And Tarpley also goes out. So Harper and Davis, the starting guards, are in with Donaldson, Aguirre, and Perkins, the same 5 who started the ball game, in for Dallas. Meanwhile, the backup guards, Webb and Battle, want to get it to Dominique. Overplaying is Aguirre, and Wilkins gets the basket. He took advantage of Aguirre, who tried to deny.
He initiated the contact and was able to control his body and get that shot up. I don't know how he does those things.
34 for Wilkins. Aguirre with the ball has 28 and a foul away from the ball against Atlanta. It'll be a shooting situation.
Now we'll see Dominique is coming off the screen. He'll get the basketball, but watch the body control when he meets Donaldson underneath the basket. Just gets that body out there, just hangs in the air.
Meanwhile, at the other end, as Dominique Wilkins goes over to talk to Cliff Livingston, Kevin Willis has chalked up his 5th personal foul. Davis shooting. And now here comes Livingston, and Kevin Willis goes out with 5 fouls.
And Cliff Livingston coming in, but Kevin Willis is very upset going out.
Atlanta, Dallas has still not been able to regain the lead here in the last few minutes. Battle picked up by Perkins on a switch. Livingston gets the shot inside. No one kept Livingston off the board.
Well, Brad Davis switched off onto Livingston and did not concentrate on keeping him off the glass.
5:10 to go on turnover. Webb ahead of Davis. Davis could have picked up that ball, but Webb beat him to it. And on the other end, Livingston slams it through, and now it is a 5-point lead for the Atlanta Hawks.
And the reason he couldn't pick it up, he was so concerned in getting back defensively, seeing Webb come at him, he just had to back off.
Davis looking for Aguirre against Wilkins, and the foul against Dominique. Dominique picked up early fouls, picked up 2. This is only his 3rd.
Now here's Webb. Look at Davis. He's just so concerned in getting back and having that position, not letting Webb go to the basket. He wasn't thinking about going after the loose ball. And a great pass.
Bill Tarpley has come in now for Sam Perkins, and Perkins has been a real clutch performer late in the game. He was 2 division leaders fighting out late in the game. Brad Davis is open. And again, it's a 3-point game.
Dallas needs to stop. They should know what is coming at them. They're going to go to battle some way with the basketball, and Davis has got to stop him.
And now Aguirre is guarding Wilkins, and Battle gets it to him. They quickly double. Livingston finds Webb, and he misses this time. But there's Wilkins, Livingston, and the second and third attempts. And Atlanta, that's how they really destroy it.
They had 3 people going to the offensive glass that time. They're just a tenacious team when they go to the offensive glass.
John McLeod said we've got to get the defensive board. Hartley throws up a bad shot with 3 minutes to go, and now the Hawks push it up with a 5-point lead.
And what we're seeing is poise at one end of the court, and at the Dallas end, no poise.
That's the maturity that Mike told you his team now has.
And the question, that's got to be a big question mark right now for John McLeod.
Wilkins. Harper. Hawks are back. Davis, good feed by Harper, and Tarpley on a follow-up. 15 for Tarpley, and it's a 3-point game again. Less than 2.5 to play, and we're getting down to crunch time now. Timeout, Atlanta.
Each other very well.
Webb keeps his balance. 11 on the shot clock, and a 3-point Hawks lead. They isolate Webb against Davis, find Wilkins. They double him before he even got the ball. Battle at the 24 buzzer, missed. And guess who? Atlanta gets the loose ball again.
Just killing them on the offensive boards.
Leading by 3 and taking their time. Both teams in the penalty. Dallas has 4. Their next foul will put Atlanta on the line, and there is Battle hitting another clutch jumper.
The thing is the confidence that this Mike Fratello has in Battle. He just missed the jump shot, but he comes right back to him again. Reminds
you a little bit of Andrew Toney the way he went up for that shot.
Well, Andrew is not playing very much these days.
I mean in his heyday.
Oh, in his heyday, yes.
101-96, 5-point game. A lot of pressure on the Mavericks offense here against the best defense in the league. Harper short, and the Hawks come out with it.
Just a poor shot by Derek Harper, and he had a Spud Webb flying at him. He could have dribbled around and got a much better shot.
You're going against the top defense in the league. You're down by 5 points. You've got to come up with something better than that. Battle off the screen, and the rebound by Tarpley. Under a minute to go. A 5-point Hawks lead.
Now they need a good shot. Doesn't have to be a 3-pointer.
And goaltending. Give Harper the basket. Tree Rollins called for the goaltend, and that'll cut it to 3. That's what happens when you get second shots in the game. Forget about the points. Just look at the shot.
Do you know how frustrating that is to John McLeod? Because you go through your game plan. You want to force the perimeter shot, stop the penetration. You do those things, but your players do not check off the boards and go get that rebound.
That's the story of this game.
20 seconds.
But a 3-point lead and a 20-second time.
And obviously, Mr. Battle is one of those people.
Sam Perkins has come back in for the Mavericks. No surprise. He's been a clutch late-game performer.
Also, they'll need his 3-point shot.
Wilkins, wild shot. Tarpley wins the battle for the loose ball, and the Mavericks call a timeout. And fortunate that they didn't travel before the timeout was called. They're down by 3 with 23 seconds to go. 23 seconds, 24-second shot clock is off. 3-point lead for the Atlanta Hawks. Harper now in 3-point territory. Livingston playing him tough, though. There's the clock. Harper goes for 3 and misses. There's Perkins on the other side, and we will have a jump ball with 5 seconds to go in the game. And this jump will determine whether McLeod's team has any kind of a chance to get a tie.
Excellent defense by the Hawks. They were up there aggressively. We even saw Harper test the water by penetrating a little bit initially to see if they would react and collapse. They didn't. They stayed home with their men, didn't give them the 3-point shot.
Willis and Perkins will jump.
Well, Perkins is going to look to back tap it, and we see Willis, he's going to look to back tap it as well.
Davis, 4 seconds, fires it up. Off the rim, and the rebound by Doc Rivers at the buzzer, and the Atlanta Hawks, who came out of nowhere with a great third-quarter spark by Dominique Wilkins, sends Mike Fratello running off the court with a gutty win, and the Hawks have now beaten the Dallas Mavericks 3 straight times here at Reunion Arena, and that is no easy achievement.